Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'm proud to support this very solid Energy and Water Development and Related Agencies Appropriations Act of 2025. It's a good bill. It's going to secure our nuclear triad. It's going to protect our domestic energy supplies, and it's going to pressure this Biden administration to refill our strategic petroleum reserves. And I want to thank Chairman Cole and especially Chairman Fleischman, as well as the committee staff for their hard work on this bill and pulling this forward to the floor. I'm particularly satisfied that this legislation includes my provision to block a rule that was established by the Department of Energy to actually weaken environmental oversight for battery electric storage systems, or BESS facilities, or BESS facilities. These BESS sites are essentially giant lithium batteries lined up side by side and stacked on top of each other in many cases and connected to the larger power grid. And they're not necessarily, Mr. Speaker, bad things. But while energy storage systems are essential for a modern power grid, especially in areas like in my district in Southern California, where we have high winds and high fire risks and high loads, these BESS facilities could potentially pose dangers for communities if not properly planned, if not properly engineered and constructed, and if put in locations that pose significant harm to our communities and our environment. In a recent hearing, the San Bernardino County Fire Chief testified that if these BESS sites are not perfectly constructed, they can actually create fires that are extremely and almost impossible to extinguish. My provision simply says that the Department of Energy needs to stop trying to cut corners and to do the homework before installing these energy storage systems in our communities. Let me be clear, this isn't an anti-storage provision. It's a provision to ensure that the communities have a voice and that the government isn't running with scissors during the development of these facilities. And I can tell you in LA County, they've made some very bad choices recently when it comes to these BESS facilities. You don't have to look any further than the community of Acton, right in the middle of my district, to understand the risks associated with rushing these energy storage projects. Acton is a small community, Mr. Speaker, right in the middle of the Los Angeles forest, where LA County is forcing effectively this BESS facility to be constructed. And let me paint the picture of where this location is at. In their infinite wisdom, LA County decided to put this BESS facility smack dab on top of the most active part of the San Andreas Fault. It's right in the middle of some of the most combustible wildlands and poses a significant wildfire risk. Within a par 5 of this location, there's a large electrical substation that would be basically knocked out, which supplies all of the power to LA County, or most of the power to LA County if this were to have any issues. Within a par 5, it's got a freeway that is the main corridor going to the high desert. It's got a railroad. It's got a reservoir, which is a drinking water for the high desert in about a third of my district. It's got high voltage power transmission lines going overhead, so if the facility catches on fire, those will be knocked out. And it's got a Bright Line West plan nearby, a new rail line, as well as California's high-speed rail right by this BESS facility in LA County. And in the end, the community had no input. They had no voice. The government was running with scissors, and the LA County officials were able to put this BESS facility in a location that, frankly, is probably the absolute worst location that they could have chosen. So, again, I want to thank the chairman for this good bill overall. It does a lot of amazing things, and I especially want to make sure that I want to reiterate that these battery storage facilities are good, they're necessary, but they need to be done right, and we can't be cutting corners on these very unique technologies. And I urge my colleagues to support the overlying bill. Thank you. I yield back.